The words struck me like a thunderbolt. I didn't know how to feel, my body went cold, and for a moment, time seemed to freeze. A sharp pain pierced my chest as disbelief overwhelmed me, like my heart had stopped beating. My mind raced, trying to grasp what Mama was saying, but nothing made sense. What could have happened to her? What killed Dami? Did she take her own life? These questions filled my head, swirling like a storm I couldn't escape. My vision blurred with tears I couldn't hold back. I dropped everything, panic rising in my throat, my hands trembling uncontrollably. Without thinking, I rushed home, each step a blur of fear, pain, and helplessness. What could have led to this? The answers, or the truth, felt just out of reach. My heart raced with an anxiety I couldn't shake, as if every step toward home was dragging me deeper into the mystery of it all. When I arrived, I saw that the door to her room had been forced open. The sight that greeted me made my stomach churn. Dami's lifeless body lay on her bed. She had taken some pills, the final act of her silent suffering. Beside her was a small notepad, filled with her thoughts. Reading it later, we discovered her battles with depression and the pain she had carried alone for so long. Dami's struggles stemmed from a tragedy 5 years ago when she was just 20 years old. She had been in the car with her father during a fatal accident. I can still remember that night vividly. Mama and I had just finished preparing dinner. The aroma of jollof rice and fried plantain filled the air as we waited for Dami and Papa, who were on their way back from the village. We laughed and talked about how long they had stayed and how much we missed them. The clock ticked on, and their arrival was delayed longer than usual. Then came the phone call, the one that shattered our world. The voice on the other end was trembling as it relayed the news. There had been an accident, Papa was gone, and Dami had been rushed to the hospital. My hands shook as I dropped the phone, and Mama's knees gave way beneath her. At the hospital, we learned that Dami had survived but was left with a scar running across her cheek, a mark she would carry for the rest of her life. That scar wasn't just physical, it became the symbol of everything she lost that night and everything she would struggle with in the years to come. Her scar became more than just a physical mark, it was the root of her insecurities. In a world where beauty often defines worth, Dami struggled. At first, she tried to carry on with life, but over time, the stares and whispers began to chip away at her confidence. Job interviews ended in rejection. Social gatherings left her feeling out of place. Even in love, she was met with rejection when her partner couldn't look past her scar. Her journey through relationships was marked by heartbreak and constant disappointment, each experience chipping away at her spirit. The first man she trusted ended things by saying, "I need someone who turns heads for all the right reasons, not someone who gets pity stares." The second relationship ended when her partner admitted he couldn't bear the whispers and stares they attracted when they went out together. But it was the third rejection that broke Dami completely. She had met him online, and for months, they shared deep conversations, dreams, and laughter. She thought she had finally found someone who valued her for who she was. When they met in person, his initial shock was evident, but what followed was worse. "You can't be the sweet, beautiful person I've been chatting with," he said, his voice laced with disgust. "You're too ugly, how could you deceive me like this?" Those words shattered her. Dami stood there, frozen, unable to defend herself. The man she thought might finally see beyond her scar had reduced her to nothing more than an imperfection. That encounter left her broken in a way she had never been before. It confirmed her deepest fear, that no matter how hard she tried, her scar would always overshadow who she truly was. Despite her pain, Dami tried to rise above it. After several job-hunting disappointments, she did her research and found platforms where she could read books and write reviews. She started reading and reviewing books online, earning a steady income in dollars. It wasn't just the money that kept her going. She also started a blog where she wrote about her life anonymously. Her words resonated with others, some prayed for her, while others offered encouragement. The positive feedback and success from her blog and reviews were enough to sustain her financially, but they couldn't fill the emptiness she felt inside. No matter how much she accomplished, she still felt incomplete. Depression continued to weigh heavily on her, isolating her from the world she had worked so hard to fit into. Dami's death shattered both Mama and me. We hadn't noticed the signs, the swollen eyes, the skipped meals, the silent cries for help she never voiced. Her notepad revealed the depth of her pain, the insecurities caused by her scar, the grief of losing her father, and the overwhelming judgment of the world. When Dami died, it felt as if the ground beneath us had collapsed. Mama, already a widow, now faced the unimaginable loss of her only child. For days, she couldn't stop crying. Her sobs were raw and heavy, echoing through the house. She clutched Dammy's photos, whispering her name as if willing her to return. Refusing to eat and barely sleeping, she wandered through the house, consumed entirely by her grief. I tried to be strong for her, but I was breaking too. The guilt was unbearable. Could we have done more? Should I have pushed harder for her to open up? I replayed every moment with Dammy, searching for signs I might have missed. I stayed by Mama's side, holding her when she cried and making sure she didn't slip into despair. Our once warm and lively home now felt suffocating, the silence a haunting reminder of Dammy's absence. Her laughter, her presence, even the scent of her favorite perfume, all were gone, leaving behind an emptiness that no amount of love could fill. The house was modest, a small single-story with peeling green paint and a tiny garden that Dammy once lovingly tended. Inside, worn-out but comfortable furniture filled the living room, and the walls were lined with framed photos of happier times. Dammy's room, tucked at the far end of the house, had once been her sanctuary. The soft peach walls and the desk by the window had created a warm, inviting space, but now it felt cold and empty, a stark reminder of the loss we couldn't escape. In honor of Dammy, Mama and I decided to create awareness about mental health and depression. We resolved to channel our pain into something meaningful. Dammy's story couldn't end in silence. She had suffered alone, and we knew others might be going through the same. Our foundation became a beacon of hope, spreading the message that suicide is not the answer. In fact, it is not an option at all. Through workshops and outreach programs, we focused on breaking the stigma around mental health. The aim is to help people understand that life's challenges, no matter how overwhelming, should never be faced alone. Openness, especially with family, the ones who often love us the most, was emphasized. Our message was clear: shutting people out in times of pain only deepens isolation. True strength lies in allowing others to share the burden. People were encouraged to check on their loved ones, to notice the small signs, and to never assume that someone's "I'm fine" is the whole truth. We shared Dammy's story to inspire hope. We spoke about the courage it takes to ask for help, the importance of compassion, and the power of love and understanding. Though her life was tragically cut short, Dammy's journey became a powerful reminder that scars, whether visible or invisible, don't define our worth. What truly defines us is how we rise above them, how we embrace the support of those who care, and how we choose to live with purpose and resilience. Through her story, others were encouraged to seek connection over isolation and to embrace hope even in the darkest of times. It was a call to recognize that no one is ever truly alone and that the strength to heal is found in reaching out, not retreating. Equally important, we highlighted the transformative power of kindness, a gift that costs nothing yet has the potential to heal wounds deeper than words can reach. If Dammy's struggles had been met with compassion, understanding, and acceptance instead of rejection and judgment, her story might have taken a different path. This serves as a reminder that every small act of kindness, whether offering a listening ear or a few supportive words, can make an immeasurable difference in someone's life. In a world where many suffer in silence, no one should be mocked for their pain or judged for things they cannot change. Dammy's story reminds us of the power of kindness, compassion, and support in transforming lives. We all hold the ability to create a safer, more compassionate world for those who need it most. Let's choose to lift others up, to be the light in their darkest moments, and to honor the memory of those like Dammy by ensuring no one feels alone in their struggles. So if you're reading this, remember, you are not alone. There is help, there is hope. Dammy's story teaches us to be kinder to one another, to seek help when we need it, and to never underestimate the power of compassion. Thank you, Femi concluded as he stepped away from the mic. The hall fell silent for a moment before a wave of applause erupted. He turned to Mama, who had been quietly sobbing throughout his speech. Her face, though marked by grief, carried a hint of pride. Femi walked over to her and wrapped her in a warm, reassuring hug. The crowd's applause grew louder, a collective acknowledgement of their strength and resilience. Together, they left the hall, their hearts heavy yet hopeful, as the crowd continued to cheer them on.